Hello friends! Today I am heading out on a pet sitting job by the beach. I'm kind of excited about it because I'm hoping that it gives me a chance to not only get a lot of extra reading done, but also some time to work on the 50-day writing challenge to finish my current writing project by the end of the month. If you don't know who I am Taryn Tyler. I am an author, a poet, and a pet sitter, and I'm excited for this weekend. But first things first, before one goes on any trip, one must decide what one will read. And one must talk about one in third person because otherwise one is not pretentious enough. So, the book I am reading right now that I'm hoping I can finish over the weekend is Finians, Book 3 in the Afterworld series by K.M. Rice. I am a huge K.M. Rice fangirly. I really think her writing is underrated. It is so unique and so layered. There's just so much going on in there. At the Afterworld series particularly, I never see what's coming. I'm pretty good at predicting what happens in a story, but I never know what's going to happen in this series, and I love that. Also, because Beltane is coming up, I'm going to bring for my nonfiction Seasons of Witchery so I can brush up on ways to celebrate Beltane and decide what I want to do. So that's my nonfiction selection. This is a poem I started. I'm going to finish it hopefully there. And then, of course, for my writing project, I'm going to be bringing both my Kate journals because I'm almost at the end of this one, and I'm gonna hopefully start on this one while I'm there. If not, finish the whole thing. We'll see. I'm on track with the writing challenge, and this isn't a writing challenge update, so I won't get too much into it. But it's still like I'm on track, but barely. But hopefully, I have a lot of time to work on that. And then in case I need a break from reading, it happens. It happens sometimes. I want something that I need a little bit less focus for. I'm going to bring some coloring books and give my brain a break a little bit if I need that. I might be thinking, Taryn, you're settling in for a whole weekend of reading and you brought one fiction book and one nonfiction book. Is that going to be enough for you? You might be saying that. You might be asking that question. And the answer to that is, well, first of all, I read pretty slow. But secondly, this weekend is not only a weekend that I'm going to be spending alone by the beach, it is also the San Diego Book Crawl, which is an event that I love that happens every year in San Diego, where all of the independent bookstores get together and they create a crawl where you can go from bookstore to bookstore and earn prizes as you buy books. The first year I went, there were only 7 stores. Now there are 14. I will not be going to all 14 stores, but I will be checking out a handful of them, and I even have a gift card for one of the stores that I've been saving since Christmas. And it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to take Bronte out to play for a little bit, and then I'm going to head out. I took Bronte out to play, watered the plants, gave Bronte some salmon, and then I went and did all of my walks for the day. It's a good amount of walks I got in. I'm here at the little beach house. I can see, I took the puppies out for a walk and I could see like the ocean from the street. It's really nice. Not near here, but one of the walks I had today was near where I used to go to college. There's a sushi place that one of my friends and I used to go to every single Tuesday. So I went and treated myself to some sushi over there, which was lovely. I don't always treat myself to lunch out when I'm out and about. But yeah, now I'm here relaxing. I actually got a request for a beta read this this weekend, so I'm started that and I'm gonna finish that tonight and then hopefully have some time to read. This morning I had a muffin and quiche for breakfast with some green tea. Last weekend I had a night to myself, so I baked quiche. I love to cook, but I only have energy for it like once or twice a week. So I made 2 whole pies of quiche. I served it with some champagne and strawberry ice cream floats, which was amazing. And then I sliced up the rest and put it in the freezer, so I've been eating those all week. Same with the muffins. I made those a couple weeks ago. Went downtown to do a walk. While I was down there, I got started on the book crawl. I got my first book. I got my passport from Blue Stocking Books, which is one of my favorites. I settled on Ariel by Sylvia Plath. It's the unedited version, so it's a version that her husband did not edit after she died. And now I'm back at the beach house, just having a snack, and then I'll head out and take these 2 pups out for another walk pretty soon, and then do my second round of walks for the day. I did finish the beta read that I was commissioned to do last night, so that was good. I enjoyed the story that I was baiting. It's just the first couple chapters, but now I'm rambling, so I'll put this away. So I had a good couple of walks there, and then I came back and made dinner and set the fire alarm off not once, but twice. Got a little bit of writing done, and then I walked down to the shore. Since I'm only a couple blocks away from the shore, I felt like it was a shame not to go and look at the ocean. For me, looking out into the ocean is like looking out into a window. I don't think I could ever live more than an hour away from the shore. I hardly ever go to the beach, but I always know that it's no more than an hour away. And to me, that's important. It's important to know that the ocean is there, that there's a window out into the world, and I'm not landlocked. On the way back, I grabbed another snack at the grocery store, and I've been writing since then. I think I'm gonna put in another 20-30 minutes and then go ahead and go to bed. The part of the story I'm working on right now in Kate's journal for the Dungeons and Dragons project I'm working on, that is being published monthly in my newsletter. You're welcome to sign up if you're interested. This particular chapter, I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. The story was really, really fun to play, like this particular chapter. It was a lot of door comedy where they're all in one big house, but they're all going in different directions, doing different things, and it was hilarious to play, but I don't know how that's going to translate as a journal because it's only going to be from Kate's perspective. We'll see how that turns out. I'm going to work on it a little bit more and then get some sleep and snuggle up with these puppas. Wikipedia, and I found Mexican Gothic. I haven't heard a lot of specifics about this book, so I don't really know much about the plot, but I've seen it around a lot. Book. I'm hoping it's as good as the hype says. The lady at the bookstore said that Mexican Gothic starts out as one thing and becomes something very different, which gives me hope that it is the word that I think of when I think of Gothic. It's a very slow-paced, dramatic type of story with dark themes that kind of like circles around a mystery as it's like ominously hanging in the air throughout the narrative, and then at the end you get your answers and there's some sort of dramatic showdown. After I went to the bookstore, I went and looked at the ocean again. I grabbed matcha, which I think that might be the first time I bought a matcha. I've made it at home before, but I've never actually went out and got a matcha. I'm taking a break from coffee because it activates my anxiety, and the caffeine in tea just processes in my body a little bit different, and I can handle it better. I think there was also a car show going on in La Jolla or something like that, and like some kind of other festivals. It was really busy. It was just like that energy of everyone's out to have a good time. It's like festival energy. And I was there for the book crawl, and the store was full. It was a good time. I came home after that, and I gave myself a lunch. My partner, he's in LA today, but he made sure I had some iced tea in the fridge, which was very sweet of him. And then I went out to do some more walks and hit a couple more stores, particularly Mysterious Galaxy, which is where I had the gift card that I got for Christmas that I have been saving so I could go a little bit more crazy in that store. And what I found was The Witching Hour by Anne Rice, which I am excited about reading. Me and my partner have both been wanting to watch Mayfair Witches, but I really want to read at least the first book before I watch it. So we've been holding out. I'm also looking for more like positive representation of witches. We recently watched Agatha All Along, which was good. Leading up to it, we watched WandaVision and I forget the name of the Doctor Strange movie right now, but the one with Wanda as, spoilers, the villain, and I loved it. I thought it was a really good movie, but I was disappointed that Wanda had to be a villain because I'd like to have a witchy heroine who's a heroine and not necessarily the bad guy. And in Agatha All Along, we had the same thing where we had a group of witches who, some of them were nice, but our main character, Agatha, was not. And I would like to have positive witch representation. I don't know if The Witching Hour will give me that. Anne Rice is pretty dark from what I have heard of her writing, but I'm excited to give it a try. And even if it's not the positive witchy representation I'm looking for, I'm sure it will at least be good. It's just so long, and I read so slow. It's going to be a long time before we can watch the series. But we're closer. We're on our way there. And then also at Mysterious Galaxy, I got Lavender House by, let's see who this is by, Lev Rosen. I think the Lavender House is sort of a double meaning to like a lavender marriage, and also it's about people who sell soaps in like the 1800s, I think. And it is, unsurprisingly, a Gothic story. The last book I got at Mysterious Galaxy is Foxglove, so that I can continue the Belladonna series. When I read Belladonna, and you can watch that reading vlog if you're interested. I was expecting something very different than what I got. I liked what I got, but it wasn't what I expected. For me, a Gothic book is a story that is very mysterious and slow in its unraveling. It may or may not have supernatural elements. A very slow-paced book with
a little bit of a literary style. And Belladonna was really, technically, it had all of the elements that you would consider Gothic. But the pacing did not feel Gothic. It felt YA. To me, it felt like a YA book first, and then also it was like a Gothic themed YA book rather than a Gothic book. It was good. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't what I think of when I think of a Gothic book. The word Gothic has become so popular recently. Sometimes when a really specific genre or subculture or area of interest becomes popular, it starts to get a little bit diluted, meaning that the word becomes so popular that it starts meaning more than it used to mean. And I think that's especially true in the world of like keywords and hashtags and stuff like that, because if something's trending, everyone wants to be a part of it. And that's not bad necessarily, but it means a word that originally meant something very specific starts to mean something more general. A word that means one thing is eventually going to mean something else, because that's just how language works. It develops over time. Another word that is similar is the word romantic. It has so many different meanings, and none of them are wrong, but there are different parts of the same word, and just like different ways that sometimes different specific people, but also sometimes different ways to use the same word. Belladonna was Gothic, but it wasn't a Gothic novel in the same way that Jane Eyre is a Gothic novel. It's a different meaning of the word Gothic, even though it's still interrelated. It's just a different kind of Gothic, a newer kind of Gothic, more that's YA first and Gothic second. That's something that happens when genres become more popular. There becomes hybrid versions of those genres. I'm watching Penny Dreadful right now, and the other night Anthony was like, only the demon plot line is really Penny Dreadful. The rest are just Universal monsters. And I was like, babe, the Universal monsters were Penny Dreadfuls first. And then I was trying to explain to him like the difference and also similarities and crossover of Penny Dreadfuls versus Gothic novels, and what was the same versus what was the difference. And sometimes there is no difference, and sometimes there is. It's like there's a slight difference, but also a lot of like crossover, like a Venn diagram of lots of books that are Gothic novels and Penny Dreadfuls, and then some that are just Penny Dreadfuls, and then some that are Gothic novels but not Penny Dreadfuls. But yeah, I'm excited to continue the series. This was a really fast-paced read, at least Belladonna was, so I'm assuming this one is too, which is nice. Sometimes it's nice to just read something that's quick to get through and you can just enjoy a story all at once. And then I went to Meet Cute, which is a bookstore I haven't been to yet. It's adorable. It is a queer romance bookstore, except this also has regular romance, and it also has books that aren't quite romances, but are romance adjacent. But by that time, I had used up most of my book budget. So I haven't been to the San Diego book crawl in a couple of years just because it hasn't aligned with my schedule. But last year, when I decided that this year I was going to make it happen, I started a running list of just books that I would like to read. And as I would hear about a book, I would just put it on my list, books to look for next book crawl. And this week, I looked over the list and was like, which of these books, which of these are like really singing to my heart? Like, which ones I really want to read? And there were two books that I've been looking for at every single store so far that I haven't been able to find. And I've kind of decided at this point that I'm not buying any more books that are not those books, because I haven't bought any books since October. That's not true. I bought one book in Sylvain. But besides the one book in Sylvain, I haven't bought any books since October. I haven't gone to a bookstore on purpose to buy books because I've been saving it for the book crawl so that I could support local bookstores and be a part of the experience of the book crawl. But that means I've been saving my book budget for this weekend all this time. And I really want to read Rebecca by Daphne du I can't pronounce her name worth anything. But Rebecca, it's a classic Gothic novel, Rebecca. And I also want to read Nights at the Circus by Angela Carter, who wrote, let's see, I think it's over here, The Bloody Chamber, which is right now my favorite book, besides Lucy Undying. That's a really hard decision. I think I like Bloody Chamber slightly better than Lucy Undying. So I want to read more of her books, but I couldn't find anything else by her at any of the stores that I went to. So I didn't buy anything at Meet Cute. Tomorrow there's one more day of the book crawl, so I'm gonna try a couple more stores to see if I can find it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and actually read. I still haven't finished Finian, so I'm gonna work on that. I'm probably not gonna do any writing tonight. I'm on the book mode. I want to enjoy books instead of creating them right now. It's been a really good weekend. I am spoiling myself so bad. I hope you're enjoying all of your books you're reading, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
So I got a pretty good reading session in. I read about 3 chapters of Finian's by K.M. Rice. 3 chapters is pretty good for me. I actually read very slow, partially because I always have so many projects going on that I don't make as much time for it, and partially just because I read slow, and I like to take my time and savor what I'm reading. Finian's, it's really hard to talk about the plot without giving away the ending of book 1, but short version, it's a time travel romance, but it's going to keep you guessing. And I'm about halfway through it right now and enjoying it a lot. So the last day of the book crawl, I had walks in the morning, and then Anthony got home from LA. And since we hadn't seen each other in a while, he went with me to the bookstores, and we went to the book catapults. I was not able to find either of the books I was looking for, but I was able to order Nights in the Circus by Angela Carter, which will actually be nice because I'll have an excuse to go back to the store and pick it up and maybe get myself a coffee and have a little surprise treat for myself at some point in the future when it finally comes in. And then we went to Verbatim Books. I actually did my book launch for Nightbriars at Verbatim. It's a gorgeous bookstore, and I love that the owner made the decision to turn it into not just a bookstore but also a community center. So there's a lot of events happening there all the time in that space. And while I was there, I finally found a copy of Rebecca. I found this gorgeous vintage copy. My quest was fulfilled, and finding it was so much more exciting after not being able to find it for so long. Rebecca, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but from what I know about it, it is exactly what I think of when I think of a Gothic novel. It is a slow narrative where there's a mystery unraveling. It's slow pacing, very atmospheric. It's a little bit creepy. There's a mystery centering around something from the past that unravels slowly. So when I say Gothic, that's what I mean. After the crawl, Anthony and I went to a coffee shop to sit down and get a little bit of writing done. And I went ahead and did notes for the beta read that I did on Fiverr. And I got a very, very positive review. So that kind of made my week. Finding Rebecca was the perfect way to end the book crawl. It's just a really fun event. I like it because not only is it a fun way to support local bookstores, but it keeps me from buying too many books. If I keep a running list throughout the year of books that I'm going to look for on this day, because it's more fun if I buy them on that day, it keeps me from just buying books impulsively all year round. My list was, I don't know, 60 books long, and I only bought 7. And those 7 are the 7 that I wanted the most. So it kept me reading the books that
I'm actually going to be excited about reading rather than just shiny new things I heard about that might be fun. And if I had, you know, the the reading time of my youth, I might read them all. But yeah, that was my lovely beach weekend and book crawl weekend. Beach and writing bookish. That was my bookish beach writing crawl weekend thing. I don't know. There was the ocean, there was books, there was not as much writing as I had intended, but still some. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I can't talk. I'm too excited. That's all. Literally keep just looking at these books, being like, I'm so happy I have them all. And like, I didn't coordinate it on purpose, but they match. Like all of the colors, the color scheme is all like these like rich purples and burgundies and a little bit of orange, and it looks like it's a beautiful bouquet of books. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling now.
Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to Ink Spills if you enjoy fairy tales, Gothic literature, poetry, book recommendations, or writing.